Okay, so as it turns out, I messed up. The center of the designs on this doesn't fall on an actual grid line. What happened was the center of the design actually falls right in the middle of a grid, so it's exactly 5 up, 5 down, and 5 on each side. So I found my center line like in the last video, and I counted out 5 each way. So if you get confused, you can always just dab your finger in some water, hell or spit even, and just if you want to erase that line, but I'm not gonna bother. So, and now that I did that, since I like to start at the bottom, we have 0, 10, 20, 30. We have 3 grid lines, 30 total, 30 square it looks like. So I find my very bottom, which is it's 2 squares up on this grid line, so that would, it's on the 3rd square. So I'm going to find it. See, this is my middle, and I'll go down to this grid line, then I'll go down 1 more grid line. Then I'm going to come in the corner, and remember it's 2 up, it's 3 up, it's the 3rd square up. So this is 1 square. I don't know if you can see because Hubs doesn't always zoom. This is the 2nd square, and this is the 3rd square. So just for this, I'm going to mark it out. And that's where you're going to start. And right here, it starts with brown. So I'm probably either going to start with the red in the nose or the brown, and I'll just go up around the nose. I'm not sure yet. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start with the brown. Find your thread that it calls for. Get my old lady glasses out. And you're going to pull out 2 strands. Usually your pattern will tell you how many strands. And usually it's 2, unless it's a bigger count. These skeins of thread come 6 stranded. So you're going to take 2 and you're going to pull out 2. Let it unwind. And then I also take those apart and let them unwind that way too. And it'll give you a much neater end stitch. Now I like to use my thread heaven because it conditions the thread and it makes it glide through the fabric easier. I don't have much left in this one, as you can see. I just smush it in between my fingers and wrap it around the end and just pull it through. Then I'm going to go and do the rest. This is actually a really short. They cut these really short. I like to have my thread at least from my fingertip to about a little past my elbow. It's just this is really, really short. Okay, what did I do with my needle? This could be fun. Can you pause it, please, while I look for the needle? You started? Okay. You can talk. My goodness. Okay, if you have a needle threader and you'd prefer to use that, that's cool. This is a pretty wide-eyed, I don't know, can you see it? It's a pretty wide eye on it. It's probably a size 24 needle that came with it. This is probably size 14 fabric. All you really need to do is wrap the end around an index finger, pull the needle up between the strands, hold it down, then you're going to make it tight against the needle with your fingertip and your nail, and then you can thread it easier. Hopefully I'll get it, not look like an idiot. Kind of shaking a little too, so that doesn't help. And there you go. And you're going to pull it, and you're going to leave a little bit. You're going to leave like a little tail right here. And the way I start to anchor the back of the thread when you start stitching, not knitting, you make a knot at the opposite end. But only do this if there's more than one stitch in this color, and there's 2 stitches in this color, so I'll go ahead and do that. Try to get the knot to the end as far as you can. So now, okay, here's my square that that's my first stitch. So right here I have 2 stitches in brown. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna count 1, 2, and this right here would be the 3rd stitch, which would be red. So I'm going, wait, no, that's 1 square, 2 squares, 3 squares. So at the end of the 3rd square, I'm gonna go in through the front of the fabric. And now you have a knot holding your place. And see, this is, like I told you, Charlie, this is, I do it kind of opposite of what a lot of cross-stitch instructions say. I come in from the top left of the square. Don't pull it super tight, you know, just enough that it's till it stops. And then I go in